Mr. Suzyo. How are you?
I'm okay, Alexa.
I'm fine.
Thank you.
First of all, thank you for coming through. I think we've been planning this for a while now, but as we begin, just give us your name, the program you're doing, and maybe just some background, where you're coming from.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Franco. I'm so grateful for hosting me today. I feel like this is one of the greatest opportunities that we really get to have. I really appreciate for having me on the podcast. So my name is Suzyo Nyimbiri. Yes. I'm coming all the way from Chipata, of course, Eastern Province. Yes. I did my primary school there in Chipata. I did my secondary school in Ukaasha R.F.C. school. Yeah. So actually, that can just be a bit of my background.
Your background.
Yeah. Being here, it was in 2022.
So you came here in 2022.
Yes.
Okay, so because we are very poor, and for someone who's just watching us, I'll request that maybe we speak a bit louder so that the cameras can at least pick up the audio.
Okay, audible?
Yes.
What's okay?
Yeah, we haven't yet acquired mics.
Oh, okay.
So from the time that I got to know you, I knew you as someone who was a leader, someone who was out there doing exceptional things, and I never really knew anything about you, but I knew to say there was something about you that was worth experiencing. So from the background information that you've given us, looking at where you're coming from, what would you say is the main thing that is driving?
Alright, so the main thing that has been driving me, more especially to be here,
Yes.
is the status of my family.
Yeah.
Yes, actually, I wouldn't want the generations. So it's a bit of trying to change the status of the family.
Yes.
They are coming from different backgrounds, and definitely, in most cases, there are backgrounds that are not well to do.
Yeah.
That whereby even us growing and reaching to this stage, it's been a struggle. So we're just trying to remove that aspect of saying, okay, how about changing, taking the family life to another stage?
Another stage.
Yes.
Yeah, because we come here with different backgrounds, different stories, and your story is one that is, I think, worth listening to.
Okay.
Because what even made me approach you to say we have to do this is I looked at some of the things that you went through, because we were in the same class, right?
Yes.
And I looked at your story and some of the things that got to happen, and I thought maybe let's hear from him. But I mentioned leadership, and in leadership there are a lot of struggles and a lot of things that happen there. Take us through your leadership journey. Where did it start from, and what are some of the struggles that you faced while trying to do a lot of things?
All right. Actually, talking about leadership, I feel like it started almost a good time. Yeah. So coming to leadership, I started almost a bit some years ago. I remember when I was at primary school, I took it up leadership of being a class rep, and also the school prefect. But then that was from grade 4 to grade 7. And I remember very well when I proceeded to secondary school. In grade 8, I was also chosen as the class representative for my class. Okay. That was from grade 8 up to grade 11.
Yeah.
So from grade 11, I was also appointed as the academic minister under the summer school where I was by then. That was 2017, 2018. So if you look at this, all the way from grade 4 up to grade 4, it was all about leadership. Yes. Then coming to CBU,
Yes.
Being the university, I remember very well when I was in the second year.
Yes.
When I was in second year, I was also voted in as the class rep. Yes, that was in 2023, if I'm not mistaken. Somewhere there, if not 2024. Yeah. So I was the class rep there. Then being around CBU, I managed to hold the different positions under different clubs.
Yes.
And one of the, should I say clubs and organizations? Yes. One of the clubs, it was Natural, where I'm currently still holding the finance position as the finance minister. And I also worked under Synergex organization as the marketing manager there. I'm also currently under the Copper Belt Institute, is one of the biggest organizations, as the vice director. I've also held position on Tri-Harmony and the Climate Network. It's a Brazilian-based organization, but it has been established in Zambia as the media personnel.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yes. So, and also currently still serving as the class representative in the field. So, I've held a lot of positions, but just to mention a few, these are some of the positions, maybe should I say the leadership history that I have had.
Yeah. Yes. So the reason why I've asked that we talk about that is because that comes with challenges.
Yeah.
And in your story, I think these challenges were quite visible, especially to me who was following the story. So, in all those positions that you are holding, how did that affect your academics?
Yeah. So in all these positions, more especially when it comes to the university standard, I would feel like it affected me a bit.
Yes.
Yes, it affected me a bit. And by then, I think I hadn't known how best I would navigate in leadership and also in line with the academics on how to balance. Maybe that was maybe due to time. And they like feel that okay, you have got a lot at hand, and maybe we're not able to navigate through some. But I think that was not even the fault as per se, which could have contributed so much. Yes.
What would you say was the major contribution to the academic challenge?
Yeah, so the major contribution to the academics. On that one, I won't say maybe. I may try to spot out which one was the major.
Yeah.
Yes, but I would say at some point I was a bit disturbed a bit when it comes to academics, and I'm sure maybe as we move forward we are able to elaborate more.
Okay. So, because of not having a lot of time on our hands, I think I'm trying to rush things a bit. But I would say that could be just the beginning. But let's talk about your second year. Because right there, I think that was when I was close enough to see what was going on.
So I would start from first year.
Yes.
So that I connect very well with the whole story. Yes. During the time we were applying for LSB loans in 2020, it was 2022 academic year. I was on the second list. I remember on the first list we were left out.
Yeah.
Then I came on the second list. So coming on the second list, I felt like okay, all the dreams have have gone just like that.
Yeah.
I never had the that courage of saying maybe I would be in university again.
Yeah.
So I didn't have that courage, that energy to say, okay, am I really going to be in university at one point? So in February, approaching March, the second list from LSB came out.
2020.
Yes, came out, and he was among the 500 students who were picked for that
Second
loan.
list.
Yes, for that loan sponsorship. So by then, our colleagues would have they had already started learning, and we were almost about to close for the
first term.
Yes, for the first term. They had already gone ahead of the work. So I came in, and we never had that time of saying we could start afresh.
Yeah.
So that also affected me in my first year. So what happened is that you know how uni is, you can't guess of what is there when it's during the test, you can't guess of what is happening. You have to study, then you have to get it from the lecturer. You can't just study now, like from secondary school, the way we do it. No. So I remember very well, after some examinations, after writing the examinations, the results came out, and I discovered that I was covering there was 2 courses.
From first year?
Yes. So I carried the mathematics, that is in thing. I also carried the CH110. And then I proceeded to second year. So now, considering that in second year we also get to have maybe almost close to 7 courses.
Yes.
I had a compound of almost 9 courses. That was a bit heavy on me. Yeah. So I had to check how do I navigate the first year courses and also dividing time for second year courses. That was too much on me. So you find that you're supposed to attend the classes for first year,
yes.
But again at the same time you're supposed to attend the classes for second year. Yes. That was the issue. So meaning I had almost close to 9 courses.
9 courses.
And I had to try by means to see how best I could do. I could blast them. Yeah, it was a bit heavy, it was a bit hard. Yeah, it was a lot of work.
So in second year you had 9 courses.
Yes.
And you were still doing other things.
Yes.
That is to do with leadership. I'm sure that even made it harder for you to focus on academics. Where did that intention of saying, even if I have 9 courses, I will still involve myself in these other things, because someone would think that you having 9 courses would have made you focus solely on education or university, but you still did these other things, and that added something to your work. So how did you navigate that, and what made you still go ahead and do those things?
Actually, the leadership in which I was, it wasn't so much involving, because it was just something that has to do with, just organizing people and not really being there physically in most cases. Because there is some kind of leadership where you get to do things online.
Yes.
And there are certain things that you get to do things physically each and every time, and then you have to be members. That is different. So like for the clubs in which I was, I had to put myself there for the sake of participation, because I love academic participations, and that is why I just had to do this. If you look at the clubs in which I was, most of them they were dealing with academics. Non-academic based were not.
You are not involving yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. And then, how did you move on with those 9 courses?
Yes.
What happened in second year?
Yeah. So in the second year, just like I said earlier on, with 9 courses, we sat for the examinations. Yeah. After sitting for the examinations, it was discovered that from the 7 courses that I had in the first year, second year, I had to clear 6. Yeah, I had to clear 6, and then plus the ones from first year, they still kept on hanging. So which means that added effect course.
A third course.
And according to the rules and obligations of the university, they say if you get to have 3 courses, then you have to repeat.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that means you had to go on part-time, right?
Yeah. So in second year, I had to go on part-time. I was supposed to proceed to third year, so I had to go on part-time.
Part-time. And you said you were on BC.
Yes.
And being on part-time requires that you sponsor yourself.
Yeah.
And I remember very well, before we closed, you were voted in as the vice president for Kilmes. How did that go when you discovered you were on part-time, especially to do with the family, the finances, friends? What were the dynamics there?
Yeah, interesting enough. So actually, part-time came in, and with me, I had to expect that, considering the bulk of
The
the
bulk
rate
of
which was there, but not expecting it to the state of 100%. Yeah, because we know everybody after examinations would want to proceed to the next year of study, definitely. So I was just at home by then, good time. So the results came out, and then I was like, okay, let me just try to check. I checked the results, and then the status was part-time. And I checked on the figure which was there, it was almost 12,000 something. So I had to reach out to Dad, Mom. I told them, Dad, Mom, results are out, but they are negative. Meaning I have to repeat the year of study. Yeah, so after telling Mom, telling Dad, they were like, okay, so that's the case. But what could have made that? So we sat down as a family. My dad is listening dad, Mom is a listening dad. So we had to sit down. So like, what could have contributed to these results? So we all felt like, okay, it was the time that I had to come in university in the first place.
You came late.
Yes, I came late. Though that should not be an excuse to that. Yeah. So I came a bit late, and completing school in 2018, then coming in like for you to catch up again, it was a bit hard. Yeah. So now the issue was on the solution, because the problem is there. The problem is already in the family, but the question is, how do we navigate through this challenge? And I remember very well, Dad gave me the question. It was like, Sonny, what are your plans? Even before I get to hear his views. That's the question he gave me. I was like, I want to go back to school. Because if I don't go back, then I would have to spend another year in society. And by the time I will be getting back, I would have to be getting back, it will also affect me more than it is supposed to affect me this time around. But the question was, okay, where are we going to get the finances? If you look at the status here at home, the status was bad, and I know Dad hadn't had the capacity to sponsor me on himself at that particular moment. But I was like, I want to go back to school, and I'm going back. That was the situation.
Personally, I know you said you had to accept what had come.
Yeah.
There are a lot of students that have the same challenge. Maybe having carried courses, going on part-time, and all those things, and you find that they really get affected by such things. At a personal level, how did you handle that, and what helped you to go through such a time?
Yeah. So, just like I said in the first place, nobody had my option. The only option which was there was acceptance. So I had to accept the situation first. If I wouldn't have accepted the situation, I wouldn't have made the decision of saying I have to go back. So the first thing that came out was me accepting of saying yes, this has happened. But again now, what do I do? You get the point, right, Mr. Franco?
Yeah.
Yes, that was the issue. That was the issue. But now the question is, how did I handle that? How did I manage? Yes. What I did was first, I know very well that I had friends with me that knew me at a personal level and on a different spectrums of life. So I remember very well the first person I contacted was Mr. Sivande. Mr. Sivande Dixon is a good friend of mine. I explained to him because I had to reach out to someone. So, okay, this is the situation, but how do I handle it? I reached out to Mr. Sivande, and the other person was Mr. Chilombe. The other person was Mr. Peter, the academic minister. So yeah, so I had to reach out to these people, and I'm glad that I had to receive a progressive and welcoming responses from them. They did encourage me. They did. We had to discuss on one or two things, and the resolution that was made by them was that I have to come back.
You have to come back.
I have to come back. That's how I had to handle the situation. And I started my preparations coming back. I remember I used to do some business at home. So I had to get some money, came through, got the transport, paid for the boarding house, got some foodstuffs and the like, school items, yes, using the money that I was saving at home. So, what else here? We are still on saying, how did I handle it? Coming here, yeah, it was a bit of a struggle. It was a bit of a struggle. I had to think of how that balance, which was showing at the bottom, could have sorted out.
That brings in the financial challenge.
Yes. So it was. I was in the financial crisis, but regardless, despite that, I still had to find a solution. And so I remember very well the solution that I had to make was being open. Being open to my fellow students, being open to the student populace, Kobosu leaders. By then, I remember very well it was Lord Nisonga. Yeah, I had to reach out. Yes. And my class specifically, the class for PACE really assisted me. We had to organize with the guys. By then the president was Mr. Andy. We had to organize with the guys, and we started making some contributions. And I remember very well the first amount that we raised was 8,000. Yeah. That amount was raised in a space of almost close to 4 days.
So, before we carry on then, so you are now back in school.
Yeah.
You're on part-time, you have that balance. Number one, you've talked about your class pace. When you came back, you were the vice president.
Yeah.
And when the news came out that you were on part-time, how was that status affected, number one? And then there's so much to talk about. That's why I even said we won't have enough time.
Yeah.
And I remember being the vice president required that you clear it.
Yeah.
How did the society receive you?
Yeah, actually, each and every setup has got its own constitution.
Yes.
It has got its own obligations. It has got its own conditions. Wherever you go, even from the boarding houses where we're coming from, there are rules. If you try to come at 21 hours, you won't be let in. You get the point? So even the university itself, being CBO, it has got its own conditions, such that regardless of the person that you are, you just have to follow that. You just have to abide. So, me being on the position of the vice president and considering that I had to clear the courses for me to maintain that status. And in line that I had not reached the desired conditions, then definitely I had to respect those conditions and it dropped down.
So you dropped it down as the vice president for pureness?
Yes, I had to drop down, and that had to follow the procedures. And I'm sure you saw it. There were some ratings, student council whatsoever. The issue was all over being discussed, and it was resolved that I had to drop down. And yes, definitely, re-elections to be done. Yes.
So let's go back to where you are open to say this is the challenge that I have, and you said that you reached out to friends, union leaders, and a number of other people that came in to help. In 4 days, you were able to raise 8,000. And today, we have people that are having similar challenges, maybe financial challenges, academics, and for some, we just hear that, okay, this person has done this because of such challenges. How important is opening up to others?
Yeah, actually, on my side, opening up assisted me a lot. Because I know as I was also going to associate with different people, productive for that matter. Because there are people that whereby if you get to open up to them, you get to you get to be the news outside there. But I was one of the person that really obligated myself to party, maybe sharing time with people who are productive in my life. So I had to open up to people who were understanding with the situation, who could understand of saying, okay, this definitely do happen, and this could be the solution. So it wasn't easy. It's not easy to open up. It's hard. It's not easy to open up. More especially that I was one of the person who was in the leadership domain.
Yes, that's where my question is coming from, because
for
me, who is an ordinary person,
I
might open up and no one will care, but for you in the position that you are in, I would like to think it was hard to open up.
It was a bit hard.
But how did you manage to even come out and say this is what is going on?
Yes. So this still comes back to the first statement. Acceptance. If you accept your condition, then definitely everything goes well. But if you don't, it's a miss. So I had to accept. No. I had to forget about me being a leader. I had to forget about me being known to be that Nyimbiri.
Yes.
I had to forget about me being known to be someone who is so precious in somebody's life, like, okay, someone who is highly counted. Of saying if we get to reach out to this person, we're going to get this settled. I had to forget about someone thinking of, say, I couldn't have found myself in such kind of a situation. I had to forget about all that and concentrate on saying what should be the solution to my situation.
Because you've talked about you had to forget that others could not think of you in that situation. And that is one of the things that crosses our minds to say, you are friends and you are in the same class, people expect you to achieve certain things. And when you fail, I think it's one of the reasons that really draws you back into solitude or being isolated. But I think you did well to say, let me just forget about all those things. Because people have their expectations, and people look at you a certain way, especially being a leader. So in that time, did you lose some friends? Maybe the ones you were in the same class with, and what was the support from friends?
Yeah. Yeah, so actually, that's an interesting question. So during this trace of time, yeah, when you get to lose a certain thing, something worthy in life, is definitely part of it that some people will refrain from mingling with you, or refrain from maybe getting to discuss important items of you. So during that time, I would say I lost friends. I wouldn't say I lost friends, but definitely, maybe unknowingly, some had to distance themselves from the friendships that we had. You get the point, right? Okay, how would I be moving around with someone who's not part time? How would I be moving around with someone who's failed? How would I be moving around with someone who's okay? What would I be doing with you? So it's possible. I had to, maybe I might have lost that connection of that strong relationship that I had with my friends. But I would say, honestly, I wouldn't want to lie. 80% of my friends stood firm. 80% of my friends stood firm. 80% of the people, or I say maybe 90% of the people, got disappointed, but they never had to cross on something. Because they knew the kind of the person that I was. And that could have been done, maybe couldn't have happened deliberately. Yes, it was something that maybe somebody has gone through. It was something that I went through, and I believe even this year, somebody went through it. So I had to, the friendship connection somehow got lost on certain individuals that I may not know. And that should not let me say, no, that one distanced me. No. Remember, we all have got issues to do with academics. And possibly maybe they might have been attending to academic affairs. And should I have to put that as an aspect? No, I shouldn't. Yes. So they were there for me, but they were also attending to the academic affairs, and that was important. Coming back home as a family, yeah, some family members had to question me, like, okay, how could Nyimbiri, how could Suzyo be in such kind of a situation, being known to be someone who was bright in the family? You get the person, being known to be someone who has been getting good results all the way from primary up to secondary school. How could we have done this? How could this have happened to him at university level? You get the point, right? But those were questions which we are there. So yeah, some talks were there and then, but nevertheless, I never took time to look backwards. My focus was just being back in
Mr. Thomas, you can come in anytime you want to, but I think from my side, I want to really listen to you and not talk much.
Yeah.
So, because you opened up, you were able to receive support from others. And like you said, in 4 days, you were able to raise 8,000. I believe that was through contributions and people coming through in different ways. But then there are others that are going through similar challenges and they can't open up. Me personally, when I'm going through financial challenges, coming out and asking for people to make contributions on my behalf is quite something tough. And I still don't think I'll be open like that, despite me having challenges even right now. And coming out asking for that help is still a challenge. What would be your advice to someone like me who's saying, no, I can't ask for such help and come out that way? How would you advise me?
Yeah, so to someone who could be, maybe someone who is going to be watching us, maybe anytime from now, allow me to say honestly to you, you being on part-time is not a failure. It is just a trace of time. You being a failure doesn't mean you are down. You being a failure doesn't mean that is the end of it. In life, we get to face different situations. That speaks for our lives. Certain situations do happen just to build us. Certain situations are not avoidable. You can't avoid them. We get to face different setbacks in life. We may have funeral situations, academic failure situations, business failure situations, relationship failure situations, marriage failure situations, on different aspects. But does that really entail that those people who get to find themselves in such kind of situations are failures, or maybe they are not responsible enough? They are responsible, but those are the situations they get to come, and by time they get to leave. You get the point, right?
Yeah.
Yes, definitely they will get to leave an impact that will make you feel like, okay, you are trying to, more like you're trying to regret, how could I have been here? Why should I have done this? But by the end of the day, what I'm trying to say, you accept your situation first. You accept your situation. Family members will reject you. Family members, those who used to send you some money for food, they will stop sending that money.
Because you failed.
Yeah, because you failed. Because they are counting you to be a dumb person, not knowing who the kind of the person that you are. I've seen people, I wouldn't say this should be an excuse also. I've seen people failing many times, but rising up once and being the giant forever. So you might feel like, okay, we have reached, I am nothing in the presence of the people that are around me. No, you are definitely something that is so much special in the presence of everybody who is around you. So what I would say to someone who is facing the same situation, to me, you are my brother. To me, you are my sister. To me, you are my cousin. And should that happen, please take a step of opening up. Reach out to relevant people that could be of help, and definitely people are there to help. Personally, myself,
Yes.
reaching to this far, I'm one of the person who is so enthusiastic to see someone coming back to me and saying, Mr. Nyimbiri, I really need this help in this sector. Yes.
And again, still on the same issue of opening up.
Yeah.
You're one of those people that I've seen going out there and doing contributions on behalf of other people.
Yeah.
And even in that time that you're doing that and you're still doing it, you have your own challenges. I just couldn't comprehend sometimes to say, this person has this challenge, but he's still out there helping others. How does that work? Does helping others also help you at a personal level with coping things and other things?
Actually, I don't know how I would put that, but I would say back home, I feel like I was brought up in a setup whereby, okay, we are so much into, having, seeing different situations and being able to attend to them. Maybe mom, maybe someone is sick in the family, dad could say, okay, can you bring that person? We get to stay with them, then we see how best we can help that person. Okay, so I learned a lot from that. Because dad was a generous person. that could help each and every person that could come through home. So sometimes we get to learn things from our parents, sometimes we get to learn things from the society. So each and every from wherever you go, be at church, be at school, be at home, you get to learn one or two items. And so those are some of the items. And coming to the issues of saying, despite me being on part-time, but I still stood up for others. Sometimes our personal challenges shouldn't hinder the access of others to what they might benefit from you. You get the point? Eh? If I have got that, access of giving out, of helping out, then I just have to do that without compromising. Because definitely my situation doesn't speak to someone, it speaks to me. So why should someone get compromised? No, I shouldn't. So I remember very well during the same trace, I also met some colleagues who were in the same situation. Wow. I had to go for them. And I'm glad that almost close to 3 people registered. And they accessed their results. And this time around, we are still together in the same ways. That makes me happy. I may not mention people here, but I feel really great. I feel really good when I get to see my hand where it touches in things I'm making.
So, I like this initiative, but I think we'll come back to it towards the end. You are in second year, and part-time, there's that 12,000 balance. You get some help to raise 8,000. But that 8,000 is not enough to cover the entire balance.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the other things that you had to do in order for you to sustain yourself in that situation. What were the steps that you took and what helped you make money?
Okay. So they say each challenge has got a solution. If you get to have a challenge, then definitely behind it there is a solution. So what I did one time, I sat down and I was like, okay, Mom can send me some money for the boarding house, can send me some money for the tuition fees, can send me some money for the food. And the one thing that clicked in my mindset was I have to find a solution. But how? So what I started was there is this one other time I had almost 800 kwacha with me, and I was like, I just have to do something. So as I was scrolling through Facebook, I came across a link that was dealing with an online course. Okay, so I was like, no, let me try to do this course, and maybe sometimes it's going to benefit me at one given time. So I paid for that course, 150. I did it for a month. That was the graphic design. Yeah. So I had to do that course, which was graphic design.
Yeah.
I won't mention to say now which entities or whatsoever, but after doing that graphic design, it was one of the instruments that I used to finance myself. So I remember very well, after that course, I was given a project to do some designing. And after designing, I made almost close to 4,000 kwacha. That was a starting point for me. I made that 4,000 kwacha, and then I had to finance all my bills, boarding house, and whatever that was supposed to be there. Next, out of that, I was lucky enough, since I was still operating under those organizations which I talked about. We had to apply for some WICAF fundings under councils, Kitwe City Council, and I was one of the leading teams there.
You said you applied for?
Fundings.
Okay.
For what do you call those? what do you call those loans that you don't get to pay?
Grant?
Yes. So we applied for the grants. So after applying for the grants, 2 of the groups in which I was, and which I was also leading with,
Yes.
got funded. The first group got funded, it was almost 130,000 kwacha.
Oh.
The second group got funded 78,000 kwacha. May not disclose those groups, but we got funded. And from the council, we also received some interest there that could have helped us to be running the project. So it was from that also part that I also benefited, and also managed to find myself in paying up for the tuition fees, and also paying up for my outstanding balances that I had during that moment. I would lie if I say dad sent me something, and if I would say mom sent me something. Instead, I was the one sending something back home for assistances.
Then, at what point do you become a boarding house agent?
Yeah, so so it was the transition where we were trying to we were waiting for the results to come out after writing the examinations. Yeah. After writing the examinations for part-time.
Yes.
So I went back home. Then I was like, okay, in as much as I discovered that in most cases students get to find it difficult for them to find spaces where to stay, more especially when they are at home. So I was like, okay, I can manage to be a boarding house agent, considering that I have built my name.
Yeah.
Some people trust me, and in as much as I do that, I also had to trust myself. I was thinking, even in as much as I'm getting to these services, I have to be trustworthy of the person that I need to be. So I started boarding house. That was in September.
Yeah.
I had to create the group Nyimbiri Legit Boarding House. That was my brand name, Nyimbiri Legit Boarding House. I started that, and I grew my group to almost close to 700 members. I remember very well. So I started looking for the boarding houses. I had to move. Riverside. Now Avenue, Sparta Compound, and that time we were on holiday. Me, I was here moving up and down.
Looking for boarding house?
Yes. September up until October. October, I only went home, only spent a week, and came back. First week of November. Started doing the boarding house agent. I'm glad to say I received a good number of clients. And yes, during that time, yeah, I met someone. I met someone. So that's how I got to be a boarding house. And I would say, Mr. Franco, I didn't use that money uselessly, mercilessly, maybe recklessly.
Yeah.
I didn't. I had all the money that I had to make. 70% of it was sent back to be invested in the business that could support the family and also myself.
Wow. So, as students, we wonder where we could get some help from, or some money from. And in your situation, you've talked about, number one, opening up. That gives you help. Number two, you talked about looking for opportunities where you found a link online.
Yeah. Yes.
You clicked.
Yes.
You did the training. Became a graphic designer, and you got a project or a contract.
Yeah.
Then you also talked about having productive friendships,
Yes,
or
yes.
involving yourself in productive things, whereby you applied for grants and you were given the money.
Yeah.
And then lastly, you become a boarding house agent.
Yes. Yes.
And you make money from all these things. What would you advise a student right now
Yes.
who is facing financial challenges? Where can they find these opportunities, and how can they get to do some of these things? And then when it comes to applying for grants, how easy is it to get a grant, and what are some of the projects right now that are open for grants where it's highly, where you are highly expectant of receiving the grant? Because you talked about receiving 2 grants.
Yes.
One of them being over 100,000, the other one 78.
Yes.
Yeah. So in that line, how does one align themselves with these opportunities?
Actually, allow me to respond to the first question, which is how does someone navigate, maybe get to find
These opportunities.
How would someone who is facing the same, who is maybe facing the financial challenges, maybe also who is in the same situation, maybe part-time, maybe also, what should that person do? I think the first thing is, in all this, we should be able to be innovative enough ourselves. We need to be innovative to an extent where we are able to say, okay, this is the only thing, this is the only unique service that I may be able to provide to my fellow students, or maybe the community that will be benefiting with me. I had to penetrate through the graphic design section, because I knew that not a lot would have been doing that, more especially when it comes to the students. So being innovative isn't all about doing what someone is not doing, but even what others are doing, you can still do that, but you just enhance the kind of the service that you're offering. We're able to see people who are selling drinks, we're able to see people who are selling sinners, we're able to see people who are selling phones. That is innovation. So in as much as we get to live, we need to be innovative as students. At some point, it's not everything that is going to be coming from parents. Sometimes it's about ourselves, grooming ourselves. The situations that we get to go through, we're here at university. They are the basic of our building blocks of what we need to become in future. So if we don't get to be innovative now, we're not building ourselves now, we're not being responsible ourselves now, then definitely the future gets to be, it will be something else. It will be bad. Some of us, we're now forgetting of saying, Dad is supposed to send me something. We're not forgetting about that. Why? We're trying to be innovative. But innovation comes in where you get to participate in different circles. And also, interacting with different people. I might never know what you get to have. Maybe you are good in maybe computer science. Maybe you're good in graphic design. Maybe you're good at different items. So if you get to interact with different people in those circles, maybe in societies, different maybe trainings that get to happen here in at CBU, we participate. Those are the areas where opportunities are found. Then you penetrate through, if possible. So if you're just living at home, expecting that maybe someone is going to help me in this situation, then we are deceiving ourselves. So we have to get up, pull up our stockings, and then innovate by the end of the day. I would say I would be glad if I would also mention to say, I'm not just a student. I'm not just a leader in the sector, but I'm also part of a business student and also a farmer. I also do farming, and I'm glad that it's progressing. I do farming. I didn't start now, but I started almost some years back in 2022. That's when I started doing my extensive bit of farming. I do maize. I like maize, and this time around, as I'm speaking, they have harvested, so I don't have to worry about everything. In terms of revenue, I don't worry about that.
Wow. Yeah. Then how easy is it to get a grant? What are some of the projects?
For the grants? Yeah. Grants, those, a grant is not easily gotten. Because that is more like a free item that is being given to you. You get the point, eh? So you need to really, really work extra hard for the grant to be given to you. And that is where also the issue of innovation comes in. I'll give an example of under Synergex Solutions. The innovation which was there was to reduce plastic pollution. And what was the objective behind it? Was also just to make not charcoal briquettes, to make the plastic papers out of plastics. We did that. We made that. How many groups were into that sector? How many groups had that mentality? How many groups had that idea? Almost close to 1%, just not even 20. And so you get to, for the grant to be given, to be given, you need to be innovative. Find an idea that is going to be unique and different from all the ideas that your friends, that your groups, that your fellow groups might present even before the people that are offering that grant.
Mr. Mas, how many minutes?
1 hour.
Yeah?
60 minutes, right?
Jeez.
Yes.
Okay. Let's do the last part. Are you still making pavers, and where are you taking those pavers? Do you have someone buying those pavers?
No, we're not still, we are on board, we're not making those things.
What's the challenge that's there?
Actually, I would say currently under that group, I'm partially a bit, yes. So I wouldn't say maybe I should speak much of that, and I not have much information.
Wow. So you've talked about being a farmer and doing business, and one of the challenges I personally that I have is I'm not so much into thinking about solutions and doing all those things. I'm so limited, and one of the reasons is because from where I'm coming from, I never got the chance to be exposed that much to an extent where I can buy a packet of sweets and start selling. What role does the household where you're coming from play in grooming you to be someone who is out there, someone who is able to be as innovative as you can be? Because I remember last time we were talking about a situation where you are told your role is to go to school, whatever you want, we will give you. But then there comes a time when those parents are not there. You talked about death, having a funeral. Maybe that person who is sponsoring you stops doing that. And the only source of income you've known is either your parents or your guardian. And in a time where it's now on you, it becomes hard to even think of what you can do. I think for me what comes to mind is, I think we are done. There is nowhere to go. Instead of me thinking of other things that I could possibly do. So what role does the household where you're coming from play in grooming you to become someone who is out there and innovative?
Yeah. So I'm sure the greatest role that the parents do play in my life is supporting me in each and every idea that I get to have, as long as it is positively contributing to the objective of building a better future. You get the point, right? So there are times whereby, like my dad, sometimes he usually say, you are still my son, you are still young. You get the point, right? You are still young. But if I look at that way, it demeans my objective of growing. You get the point, right? So it has to be me now. Okay, how do I move out of the comfort zone of saying, okay, everything is there, and then I'm just...
You don't have to worry about
yes, so I don't have to be so much comfortable of what parents are providing for me. You get the point, right?
Yes.
Because there are instances whereby dad will not be there, and I'm glad that I have all parents, but again, to those which is not a deliberate case, who do not have, I think they are able to understand the situation. And I know even that this time is going to come. So you get to the point whereby your parents passes out, and you have got no one to support you. How would you do that? And that is where the issue of saying leaving your comfort zone should be the first thing. Regardless of how much your parents have, regardless of how much that is giving you, utilize whatever resources that they get to provide on you, whilst they are still alive. Because when that time passes, it will never be taken back. So that is what I would do. I would say, okay, them grooming me is been through the support that they've been doing. And I'm glad I'm becoming a brother, a responsible brother, a responsible uncle. I'm glad because currently I would honestly say I'm supporting 3 of my siblings, primary, and 1 is and the 2 are at secondary school. I do pay for their tuition fees. For that, it's just like minimum. Yes.
Let me close with this one issue because we don't have enough time. Moving forward, what are some of your plans in terms of sustaining your academics and just your life? What are some of the plans that you have that maybe someone might also be thinking of in terms of making money and just surviving?
Yeah, so that's a very good question. That's a very good question. Actually, being students, I understand to say no. Everybody gets to have an expectation of saying maybe after university, I will have to get employed.
Yeah.
I need to get a job somewhere in a reputable company, and I need to be getting high sums of money whatsoever. Yeah, that is very good. Being anticipating for something that is worthwhile in life is very important.
Yeah.
But we should also be expectant of saying life outside there is of ups and downs, and sometimes you may not really get what you were expecting. Like definitely, you might say, okay, me from here, I would have to work with Zafiko, but that can turn the other way around. And now, how do I think it should be the best way of navigating my own life after this? I feel like investing in myself right now, whilst here, is one of the most important things. The little thing that we're getting, these 2 allowances, they are adding up. Let's invest them, and then we'll see how best we can do. And
Thank you very much for watching this, and I hope you get inspired by the story that Mr. Nyimbiri has shared. And I don't know. So much little time, but I'm sure we'll get another chance to do this. Yeah. But for today, thank you very much for coming through. I'm looking forward to seeing you again.
Thank you so much. I'm sure to the listeners also, I would like to say thank you so much for having us. Please, to that person who feels like I'm alone, you're not alone. We're there outside. Reach out. To that person who says me being on part-time, maybe you're telling yourself to be a dull person, you're not. You're very much relevant to the society. We still need you. Your family still needs you. Definitely, your greatest potential, your potential is the greatest length that will take you to heights that you ever want to be in life. This is not your last moment. This is not your ending. Please do not hide. Do not be so much do not discomfort yourself reached out and were able to help out. Thank you so much. Until next time.
Thank you, sir.
I appreciate it.